What's happening, Hoodlum Gang? Back once again, it's your boy Hoodie from the Hood, aka your friend from that big old end. And this is, I would say, part two, a continuance of the conversation I was having with the big homie. And in this video, we're gonna get into the pen, the 4 years he said he did from 87 to 91, and then from 91 to 2006. All right, so let's start with the first term. What's some of the pins you hit in the first term, and what were some of your experiences that stand out to you as far as just meeting niggas from other cities, whether it be LA, San Bernardino, the Bay, Sac, whatever, and relationships with other races, which we already know what that was, and how the COs was back then. So just give me a rundown on all of that put together. On the first term, then we'll get to the second term.
You know, I went through the first term like a gladiator. You know what I mean? When that bus pulled up and behind Chino, you know, I had kind of made a mental note that, you know, from that point on, you know what I mean, it was do or die. You know what I mean? Because, you know, I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know what was coming to me. But I also knew what I wasn't going to allow. Right. You know what I mean? Right. So I went through Chino. You know what I mean? Got educated in Chino on a little bit on prison life. You know what I mean? I was put in Sycamore, where all the Crips go. Yeah. You know what I mean? So
I was too.
The homies took me out of the cell and got me put up in the day room with them. You know what I mean? And eventually they sent me over there to the West Yard. You know what I mean? Over to the West Yard. It's you wild, you wide open. That's when me and C-Rock, Lloyd, we was over there. Lloyd was already there. He was working in the laundry room and shit. And yeah, man, it just that open. I don't know, man. I don't know. It just. You know, I know the homies used to trip off of me and shit, but I just turned into like just super crip. Right. You know what I mean?
You was one of them homies that came to the yard and homies that probably wasn't as active would probably get nervous like the homie.
Yeah, exactly.
He finna have me in some shit.
Exactly.
Yeah. Quick question. This is a side note, and I've asked a couple older homies this question, and nobody could never really put their finger on it. The founder, Donnie Ramsey, when do you remember him, if you remember him, being the Donnie that y'all knew? And then when do you remember when he started to, you know, decline? Like, because I always ask homies, like, when did he go from...
Well, I met Donnie, man. I was a youngster. I had been like about... I was about 13, 14 years old. I met Donnie, man. It's when everybody used to kick it right there on the square lane Guyman. Right. You know what I mean? And one of the homies had a Cadillac. One of the G homies had a Cadillac, and they used to always be on the Cadillac. And they little silk slingshots, you know, on swole. It's bigger homies. Right. And I remember vaguely, cuz, that I wouldn't look that nigga in his face. And I wouldn't let that nigga catch me looking at him.
He was on swole, huh?
And the nigga just looked at like it hurt you real bad. Right. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, for real, I wouldn't even look at that big old nigga, man. I'm like, shit, that nigga get a hold of somebody, but that nigga gonna hurt somebody. Right. Yeah, hell yeah. So it was like that with my first meeting with him. But when I got to meet him, I saw how humble of a person he was. Right. You know what I mean? That was just his stigma, his look. But he loved his little homies. Right. You know, Big Donnie loved his little homies, cuz that's what he did do. You know what I mean? And he just had that look, but he was not a threat to us. Right. You know what I mean?
That was for anybody else.
That was for anybody else, yeah. Right.
So,
but the first look was like, God damn, yeah.
So obviously when you met him, he was still, you know, had it all. You could still chop it up with him. Yeah. When do you remember? Or did it happen while you was in prison?
When I went to the pen, I came home, Donnie wasn't with us like that no more. Donnie was with us, but Donnie wasn't with us, man. Right. You know
was that the first time or the second time?
That was the first time I came home from the pen.
So it had to happen in between 87 and 91?
I think that was, yeah, it had to. It had to. if it had to. If I'm off a little, I mean, I had to. You know what I mean? And
Cause that's all we know as little homies is Donnie being out there in front of the gas station. Yeah. You know what I mean? We don't know the big homie like y'all knew him.
Right.
So that's why I always try to ask because.
And Donnie wasn't as motherfuckers may think he was, man. He was gone, but he wasn't as gone as motherfuckers think he was.
And that's a fact.
You know, if Donnie owed you, Donnie knew he owed you, and he knew what he owed you. If you thought you was gonna be slick, try to get, hey, Donnie, look at you like, you know what I mean? Yeah. I gave you what you got. You know,
and it's crazy because he recognized.
He recognized certain shit.
I didn't be in with Baby Ty, and he'd be like, Baby Ty, where your daddy at? Or even we was just talking about it with Baby Bull. He you know what I mean? He'd talk about Lil Kenny. Bull, like so he knew who certain people was, not necessarily me. He just know my face because I used to always give him change or buy him a beer or something like that. But he knew them as soon as they'd walk up, he'd be over there in his own world, probably talking to himself, and he could snap out of it and talk to them. And I seen that the first time with Baby Ty, where he kind of was holding a conversation with him. I was like, damn, nigga, I didn't know he could do that. But I guess it's, you know, when he recognized whoever he recognized. But all right, so let's get back to the pen. You was in there. What was the relationship like with essays and blacks at that time? Was it
still the same? That was like that way before me.
Right, the politics was what they was by that time.
That shit was set in stone way before me.
Right.
Yeah.
And of course, the white boys. That is what it is.
Yeah. Right.
All right. And how was blacks being treated by? Well, real fast. You went in there when that might have not been a thing no more. You know, all the CCOs and Blue Notes. Was that still a thing?
They was doing that shit. Yeah, they was doing that shit.
All right.
That shit was active like a motherfucker. Yeah.
So, how was the COs towards not just Crips but blacks in general? I mean, I know how they are towards inmates in general, but let's be honest, it seemed like we get it a little worse. I could be wrong.
I didn't have a bad experience with the police until I was in Lancaster, and the police jumped on me while I was in handcuffs. You know, I sued them. They got $15,000 for it. You know what I mean? But other than that, I ain't never had no bad experience. You know? Yeah. Other than me, fucking with their staff, fucking with their women.
Oh, so hold on, real fast. Okay, we got to get into that because that's something that everybody always want to know about what goes on in prison. So, I mean, obviously, you saying that you was one of the lucky ones.
I'm kind of known, bro. My name is a well-known name in prison. Trey is a well-known nigga in the California state prison system, bro.
Right.
Been for a long time. I've been home for a minute now. My shit still ring in there, bro.
Right.
From the participation that I've done in the years that I was in there. And a lot of niggas know me as a cool, kickback, suave nigga on some hood shit, of course. Right. You know what I mean? Can get active. I like that. But I'm a nigga that I'm aimed at them bitches, bro. Right. I was stayed up in them bitches' faces. You know, I stayed trying to knock me a police bitch, a MTA bitch, or some type of bitch of that form. And them niggas know me of that. And a lot of LA cats know me. And when they see this shit, they're gonna be like, yeah, that's that nigga 8. Yeah, that's exactly how that nigga was. And niggas used to get mad because they see me all up in the whole face and she receptive to my conversation and not theirs. And a lot of my shit in prison, me beating niggas' asses, was behind that type of shit.
Behind niggas hating.
Hating on a nigga, come on 40s, nigga. For reals. Yeah.
So you said, I'm guessing you knocked a CO or two or a freestyle.
Everywhere I've been, I built something. Everywhere, every yard, I had something that was in my pocket. Now, the degree of which crime she was committing, you know, it can vary. But I always had something that did something for me.
Right.
That she ain't supposed to do.
Right.
Yeah.
So, how was that like? You already explained as far as like niggas would be hating on you You know what I mean? And that's niggas hate on you on the street, so they definitely gonna hate on you with niggas.
They hate on me now. You know how I
right.
get out. They don't like to see how they get out.
Right.
You know, that's like how I'm rocking.
Hey,
you
man,
know?
hey, it be like that.
Man,
but
for real.
So how was it being on the yard, knowing that, you know, and not just you, but everybody else just knowing that, you know what I mean, when she walked by to do count or whatever, like that's the homie got that. You know what I mean? Is that just a different level of
a different level of understanding.
Right.
A different level of understanding with your crippin'. You know what I mean? Yeah, that part too.
You know what? I ain't never actually been nowhere where that's happened. I have been places where I seen niggas getting looks in action, and it seemed like they might have, but I didn't really know because I don't ask them type of questions. I don't care. It ain't my business. But it seemed like more. It still goes on today, but it was more prevalent back then.
Probably more prevalent then.
I mean, now it's still. I mean, you know, niggas got their phones and all that, and social media, so it does happen.
It does happen. It's gonna always happen.
Right.
Because the women is gonna always be intrigued and be curious about something and someone up in there.
Right.
And if your swag is up to part and you look the part and you fit the part and they watch you, they sit back and watch you on the yard and see what your position is.
Look,
and if they see your
there was two times. Look, the homie Dollar, you know Dollar, he home. I remember we worked in the kitchen in Centinela. He used to tell me that about CO that worked in the kitchen. Like, hey, bro, I feel like you got action. Right. But of course, I don't care about that. I don't look at the police like that. The police is the police to me. And I ain't did as much time. If I was doing time like y'all, I probably would have been on it. But knowing I'm about to go home, I don't care about that. Yeah. But I remember Dollar, if you see this, he remember telling me that in the kitchen.
Me and Dollar been together. We was on them yards together. We was in Calipat together. And he could tell you that nigga hate. That's his thing. Yeah. That's what he'll tell you too. Yeah. That's that nigga thing. That nigga be on them bitches.
Right.
Yeah. Well, how else am I supposed to spend my time?
Right. Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, see, when I was with him, I did my first term. That's when I got the 2.5. I really only did like 7 months. So,
but I want to keep in mind, I kept a wife. So I ain't like I needed a police. I kept a woman. I stayed in the visiting room every weekend. I kept the sack. I was the nigga. I kept everything that I needed. The bitch on the yard was just an additive because it had nothing to do. So, you know, I thought I was a fly nigga with the long perm and stayed fresh. And, you know, that was just play, man. I just play shit. Right. But in the process of being play shit, I benefited from it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Did you ever knock something and then come home and still continue to mess with it, or was that just in there?
That was jailhouse shit. Yeah, I wouldn't fuck with that.
Plus, she gonna choose the next convict.
Exactly, and they do. Soon as they leave your yard and go to another yard.
They got a boyfriend
I didn't have them leave me and go to another yard and get busted and walked off.
Right. Yeah, I heard about
you know
that.
What I mean? Yeah.
They fucking with niggas over here. Go to that yard, fuck with niggas over there. That's just what it is.
That's just what it is, man. I done had goon squad bitches, man. I done had bitches call me to the fucking podium and let me know ahead of time they finna hit my cell. They on their way to hit your cell. You know what I mean? Hell yeah. Niggas, yeah.
That's crazy, man. So,
my prison experience wasn't bad. I didn't have a bad experience, and I've been a lot of them. My prison experience mainly been from don't get me wrong, I participated in my fair share of gang warfare on the yards.
Right.
You know what I mean? That I have. You know what I mean? But a lot of I was able to do mine because how
it wasn't like I be hearing some people and it seemed like their time was miserable. But I feel like time is what you make it to. Yeah. Some niggas go in there with the idea of I'm about to do this, I don't give a fuck, and they make it harder on themselves. Time is already hard. You know what I mean? Outside of the stuff that you need to participate in, as far as whatever your group of people that you affiliate with or your race.
See, if you was with me, and every homie would vouch for this, that if you was with me, you didn't have to worry about nothing.
Right.
I made sure you was straight. You had your cosmetics. You had your food. You had a little bit to smoke. You know what I mean?
Right.
You was good enough to kick back. When I bought the drink, I bought all the drink and passed it around so we all had drink. You dig what I'm saying?
Right.
Niggas who did their time with me, cuz, did good time like me. And them niggas will tell you that. You know what I mean? They gonna see this. They gonna, you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, real shit. I wasn't a stingy nigga. You know, I had it going on, you know what I mean? And I shared it with my people, with my homies. I was getting mine regardless. You know what I mean? Wasn't nothing gonna stop me from getting mine. I was getting my money. You know what I mean? But I was able to look out for us at the same time.
Right.
Yeah, real shit. And laced the homies that was coming in and it was in position to position themselves like me. I laced them. You know what I mean? They brawled on how to get down. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
What's some homies that came up in there while you was in there that you could think of that you know, that you jailed with that I might know, and even ones I don't know?
Shit, man, I was in the yard with so many. I've been on so many yards.
Right.
That shit. Let me just pick one. We were deep as fuck. We were on Beat Yard in Calipat, man. It was me, Odie, Bay, Box. It was Big Calhoun. Shit, it was quite a few of us. We had quite a few coasters over there. Big Dirt from the West was there. Quite a homies from the Oceanside. M Dog, G-Man. Who else? Yeah, Termite, some little dude named Termite. How these they go bad. He turned out to be bad. Shit, it was a few of us, homie. And then shit, I've been on the yard with Big Bossy, Lil Bossy, me and Tweet and Bossy and the little homie from the one. I think his name tipped my tongue. We was in Folsom. I was in Folsom with Salt. With Baby Salt, we were young, me, him, Big Cass from the coast.
I actually seen that picture on 49.
Yeah, I got it right there. I got it right there under that table. Yeah,
I seen that picture.
Yeah, me and him was together for a while. You know, Salt taught me a lot in prison, man. You know what I mean? When I got to him in Folsom, you know, he'd already been down for a while, you know, in his life, you know what I mean? And you know, that's the nigga I came up from the streets with, from the bricks with. Right. As soon as I hit the yard, nigga, he kicked his celly out. You got to go 8 here immediately. You know what I mean? Yeah, on 40s, because the nigga was kind of upset. It was, you know what I mean? It was another homie, but, you know, this was coming together, bro.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and that rocked all the way until I left him. You know what I mean? Yeah, hell yeah. And it was, you know, people could tell the closeness of me and Cuz, too. When we were on that yard, they could tell. We was the youngest niggas on the yard. He's the only one that had the life sentence. You know what I mean? But they could tell how close we was, how we moved. You know what I mean? For real, man. You could tell, man. And they said it. They often said it. You know what I mean? Yeah, you fuck with one, nigga, you done fucked up. You fucking with both.
Right.
For real. Ain't no puzzle. Ain't no if you think he gonna do. No. Yeah.
And
nigga.
For the record, he home now.
Yeah,
he
my nigga home. Yeah.
Life sentence.
Yeah.
What he do, like 32 years?
Did 30. And I was with him. He had only just been down 2-3 years.
Right.
He just freshly started it.
Right.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Man, that's a long journey right there.
Yeah, when I got there, he was on swole. He had long ass perm. I was like, damn, nigga. He was like, what's that like? I said, nigga, I want to get on swole too, because I want my shit to grow too. That
nigga y'all still have weights back.
Yeah, that nigga said, don't trip, I got you, cuz. Don't trip, I got you, nigga. And it didn't happen too. He worked in that kitchen and bringing that food home. Yeah.
I forgot to ask you this in the first one, but all right, seeing obviously that you was named after somebody, whatever happened to Big Trey? Because that's something that I never.
Yeah. Well,
because now we look at you as Big Trey.
Yeah, but 8 is a G in his own right, homie. You know, 8 is like 8 is a victim of circumstance. I ain't even say a victim, but you know, of circumstances. You know, 8, you know, started young on drugs and all that old type of shit. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna tell you, nigga, 8 is a cold nigga too, though.
Right.
Nigga, when 8 started this shit, nigga, them niggas, this nigga used to get khaki suits made, Trey 8 on the back, neighbor, and this nigga was going to bail. This nigga would purposely get off in front of Freshies, nigga. Stacy had him down, Godfather and all that, and walk, nigga, from Freshies to fucking Bell. You know how far that is? He would get off the bus purposely in front of them niggas, crip down on him. They'd jump him, they'd whoop his ass on 40s. They do that.
How many years
but
older
that
is
nigga,
he than you?
Then me and Ade is the same age.
Y'all the
That's
same
the
age.
Yeah, but, you know, and it's a trip that I didn't even, the homies started calling me Lil A because how close we were. So we moved, we lived in the new houses together, and we got put on in Cuz' backyard, you know what I mean, together, you know what I mean, amongst other homies that got put on too that day. I don't know, it just fell like that. You know what I mean? It just fell like that. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, cause you know, I just became Lil A. You know what I mean? Right. Yeah, it just became like that. I just accepted it and rolled with it. You know what I mean? But over the years, as the years have surpassed, it's like, I'm not taking nothing from my nigga. You know what I'm saying? It's just that my kryptonite evolved. Right. You know what I mean? And so that name had become a prominent name. Right. You know what I mean? That's why I guess people started calling me Trey 8 instead of Lil 8. That's that nigga Trey 8. You know what I mean? Right. You know,
as opposed to just kind of faded off into the back.
Not really to the, because he's still who he is. I ain't gonna take away from Cuz is still Big Trey 8. You know what I'm saying? He is who he is. It's just
so he's still alive.
Yeah, but he, you know, he's just doing him.
Right. But then you still got contact with him.
I could if I wanted to.
Right.
I could if I wanted to, but I don't. You know what I mean? Because, you know, just for personal reasons, man. Right. I don't. It's just that, you know, Cuz is him, man. And, you know, I don't fault no person for who they is, but, you know, I'm living a certain type of life. You know what I mean? And that which includes, I don't allow certain entities or certain elements in my mix. And I love my nigga, don't get me wrong, but, you know, I don't need that. I don't want that. You know what I mean? Yeah, that'd be a problem to me. Right. You know, yeah.
That's fair enough. That's just, you know, that's something that I always, you know, wonder, not just about him, but there's certain other homies out here. Like, you know, we don't always know if niggas still alive, if they gone, if they...
He is. He stay down. He down there in Vegas.
All right.
He down there in Vegas.
He
doing him. Yeah. All right. You know, but he ain't in the game. He been out of the game for a minute, though. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Well, shit, man. You know, we're going to go ahead and probably end this one. I'm going to get a story time up out of you.
Get the story time. That's going to probably be when I brought the neighborhood together for that hood day.
Oh, no, look, we're going to get, because I got questions about that. Yeah. That's going to be a third video right now. I'm going to upload these all separately, and then, you know, whatever we missed, we could double back and do another one another day. You know, you could be reoccurring on my channel. You already know it ain't nothing but love.
Right.
Yeah, so we're going to get into that story time, and y'all stay tuned.